Hello, today I would like to talk about a question we all asked ourselves at some point, I think. It's what should I do with my life? Where should I go? Well, often this question concerns career, professional stuff, all that jazz. So I'm going to start with this. My experience taught me to go with the flow because even if you go for some studies or for some trainings or for some goal sometimes in your life, I mean, your path is going to be changed in a way or in another. And I strongly believe that the universe, the world, the all those energies around us are so perfectly wired that whatever you do, you will be led where you should go, where you should be. Or at least you will have many opportunities to follow the guidance, the signs, the flow of life, basically. I think that life is all about choices, and we have the choice. The thing is more, are you going to take responsibility and accountability for your choices? And that's why I think this question of what should I do with my life, where should I go, takes so much importance. Because it's about a choice and it's about taking responsibility, accountability for that choice. So I would first like to not minimize, but de dramatize all that career stuff, all that schooling path, all that university journey, and so on. It's kind of a collective belief we all share that we need to go to school and then most of the time go to uni and then find a job, or at least go to school and find a job. We all need a job to eat, to live. And we mix our purpose and our job. I think you can have a job that fulfills your purpose. But if you haven't even found your purpose, how can you find a job that serves it? That's the first thing. And often you can perhaps just go for a job, and while doing your job, you will find your purpose because you live some experiences. It's an adventure actually to have a job. So this experience could actually awaken things in you that will lead you to a purpose. The most important, I think, when you're questioning yourself about what am I going to do with my life, where should I go, I think there is nowhere you should go, first of all. It's where do you want to go? And most importantly, that's where I think we should really go with the flow. You need a job to eat, just get a job to eat and get the best possible job. I wish to anyone to have the best possible job with the best work conditions that interests you, at least a minimum. I mean, that provides you a sense of fulfillment or achievement, at least. I mean, that's what I wish for everybody, but we know that it's not that easy. And I think that's why when it comes to what should I do with my life, and we have to make a choice for a career, for a job, it's a very heavy decision. And I would like to put that huge burden away, because if you change your perspective on what's a career, what's a job, and what's your life purpose, you can lift a huge weight out of your life, and you will gain so much space that all that space you will be able to do something else with it. I think that that time where we were choosing a career or a job in the very early stages of our lives, and then keeping that career, keeping that path until the end of our career, not life, that's past. That's not something we can apply today. That's not something we have to apply today. We can, if we want, choose a path, a career, and do that for our whole working life, or not. Or not. In the period we're living today, historically speaking, socially speaking, that allows you to actually shift, to change your career, to change your job, and drastically, completely. So to all the people who are struggling with that question, what should I do with my life? And where the answer is career related, professionally related, don't put yourself so much pressure. Just do something to earn money and that satisfies you as much as possible. Don't try to find perfection, and live it as an experience, because life is nothing else than a series of experiences. And having a job is one. Same for university. If you have to choose a field to study, I mean, start studying something you like. That's really what I would recommend. And don't think that because you studied subject X that you have to work your whole career in subject X. Life is full of surprises. If you learn to go with the flow and say yes to life, to opportunities, at some point you will be led where you should be. If you see your career as any other field of your life, may it be passions, may it be your leisures, it's just an additional experience, and you can change your job. You can even change what you're studying at university. I mean, you have power on your life. You're not just a slave of that life and of society. Of course, you have duties. Of course, you have to have a job. Of course, you need that to eat and to do fun stuff as well. It's cool to have some money to buy things or to do fun stuff, but that's not your whole life. And mainly, I don't think it's really easy to find a job that matches your life purpose one shot. You will need to try. You will need to test different jobs, different ways of doing the same job, because you can do one job in a million of different ways depending on the intentions you put in your activity. So today, the big message I really want to share with you is don't put yourself so much pressure, really, and don't let anyone put you pressure. I don't want to bring it back to me, but I just want to share what happened to me, so perhaps it can give you an insight on what I'm trying to say. I studied economics at university until master degree, even started a PhD, and I stopped the PhD to launch my business. And it was not the business that was potentially going to bring me a lot of money. It's about giving math lessons, private math lessons, economics lessons, and programming lessons to young people between 14 and 22 years old. And it works exceptionally well. If I'm able to eat every day and live the life I live, it's thanks to math. And guess what? I never liked math. I was zero at math. It was the field where I was there. Oh gosh, I mean, it was terrible. My parents were even scared for me because of my grades in math. And I ended up teaching math and making a business, a life around math. And I can tell you, when I studied economics for like 7 years, or I don't know what, even more actually, my plan has never been to launch a business to give private math lessons. I mean, at all, never. And I'm damn happy to do that, because I'm helping young people to overcome their difficulties in a field that I basically hated. That was problematic for me. Yeah, we have some visits there behind, I think. So I tell you all this, it's not to say I'm an example and you should follow my example at all. I'm just telling you that's what I lived, and that's why I arrived to the conclusion that a linear path is an option. It's something you can choose to do, or you can choose to go with the flow and do different experiences. Me, it was my first job. I worked in a private school, and actually that private school noticed that I was explaining math very well to students. And they gave me more and more work related to helping young people in math. And I actually really liked it. And I stopped my PhD to do that because I was missing it so much. So it was not the plan. It has never been the plan. Never. So what I'm trying to tell you is you have the option to do a linear path. That's an option and it's a right. And I don't think it's a bad thing if it's what you want. It means when I say linear, I mean choosing a career path and staying in that path for your whole work life. Why not? I mean, it's an option, but that's the thing, it's just an option. If at some point you want to change, I mean, wherever you are at, you can be at uni, you can be working, you can even be at the end of your career. I mean, you have that option. It may ask for more or less work, but if you want it, I can tell you, I know that every human being on this planet, when they want something, when we want something, we can get it. We have that strength inside of us, that power. When we want something, we are able to move mountains to get it. Each one of us, we have that inside of us. So yeah, please, if you're asking yourself, what should I do with my life? Just take the burden away. You don't need to answer to this question with your career. You can answer to this question in a lot of other ways, many other ways. So this is not for everybody, of course. I'm not saying everybody tries to answer to that huge question of what should I do with my life, with career. But it's often the case. That's why I started with this. And now we arrive to the second part. Imagine you're not there. You're not trying to answer to that question of what should I do with my life? Where should I go with your career? Well, what I'm going to say here also applies to the career stuff. It's more general. What I have learned with my life is when you do something you love, I mean, something you really love, not something you do to impress people or to boost your ego or to fit in a box. I mean, something you love that makes you vibrate, that makes you shine, that makes that inner fire inside of you burn. So when you do something that brings you to that state, how can you go wrong? How can you even think you have missed your life? You have done something amazing with your life. You have, first of all, brought happiness and joy to yourself. I mean, heck, that's already a lot. That's already amazing. But if you bring joy and happiness to yourself, guess what? You're going to bring that to everybody around you, even to people you don't know, because you're filled with that. And that's what you're going to shine. And that's the most beautiful thing in the world. I'm not trying here to give you an easy solution to a complex problem. That would be quite arrogant. My aim is more to tell you that depending on the perspective you take on that question of what should I do with my life, you can make your life easier or a nightmare. So please be easy on you. Really be easy on you. And what's also important to consider in all that is learning, and that's really learning to go with the flow. It's something you have to learn. There are things you cannot control, and you have to accept that. And all those things you cannot control, that's where you have to have that faith. That's where you have to let it flow and trust, really trust that everything will be fine. Because the more you worry, the more you're going to create those kind of self-fulfilling prophecies. So a self-fulfilling prophecy is actually something where when you believe that the event X is going to happen, unconsciously, subconsciously, you are going to take actions that lead to that thing. So if your belief is based on a fear, your worst fear are going to become a reality. But if your belief is built on love, on what makes you shine, on what sparks something inside of you, that's what you're going to get. That's where you're going to go. That will be your self-fulfilling prophecy. So a self-fulfilling prophecy can be, I don't like good or bad, but can be something you want or something you don't want. It can be something you fear or something you enjoy. All this to say that what you should do with your life, it's actually just living life. That's my big message. I mean, I'm really convinced that the answer to that big question of what should you do with your life is just live it. Be authentic and pure in living that life. And when I say pure, it's not in a saint way. It's really in that pure authenticity, like really shining your light. And you know what? On your path, you are going to see, for example, passions. When you're a child, you have some passions, like maybe your toys, it can be dinosaurs. And when you grow up, well, some continue to be passionate with toys and dinosaurs, and some not, and they pass to other passions. And I don't think there is something better than the other. Everything changes in life. It's a law. You cannot escape this. Everything changes. Even if you have the same career your whole work life, there will be changes. You will have that work, that will be your job, and you are going to live it from a lot of different perspectives. And you are going to have an insight on that job that will make you an expert. That's what's an expert. You will have different visions, different perspectives on that job, on that activity. And you know what? If you pass from one job to another, it doesn't mean you are not an expert in your field. Perhaps one day you're just going to find a field where you're there like, heck, I'm just naturally talented to do that. And because you have talent, you will get that expertise as well. One thing just about talent, it's not because you have talent that you don't have to work. Because talent alone brings nothing. Just parenthesis. So yeah, my message here is really a message of freedom, first of all, of you have the choice, just take the responsibilities of your choice and accept that there are things that happen in life where you have no control, zero control. You can just do what makes you shine, because if you are in the energy of shining, of sparkling, it's going to be easier to deal with all those stuff that can happen to you where you have no control on. Like, for example, being fired or dropping out at university or at school. It can happen. It doesn't say anything on your value. Nothing. But it can happen. And those are hard times. But if you are in that mindset of, I go for what makes me feel happy, what makes me shine, those things are going to be easier to deal with than if you are already carrying a burden like a ton of bricks, because you have all the pressure of, well, actually, what should I do with my life? And it should match with the career, and it should match with that field of my life. And take it easy. Just live life. I think life is there for that. Just living it and loving each bit of it. Happiness, joy is something that is contagious. And if you can feed yourself with that, I think you have answered your question of what you should do with your life. Like you have done something amazing, because you're going to spread that in the whole world. And that's just beautiful. So I hope this message resonates. I guess it was not what some people were expecting, but I just share my opinion on my answer to that question. I mean, my answer to that question is that everything changes, everything is mutable, and you have to go with the flow. You have no other option. Everything is going to change. The only thing that is not going to change is you. So take care of that you, so that you can spread that you all over the world. And I can't wait to have a bit of your light and to be able to see it. Just can't wait. So if what I brought in this video resonates for you, please give it a huge thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I would be really happy to read it. And don't hesitate to subscribe and to hit the bell so you will be notified about the next videos. There will be some more. And if this video helped one person on this planet, it's already amazing. And it made my day. So thank you very much for your attention. I wish you an amazing day or evening, and I see you soon. Bye.